Sorry you're
Come
having
on. My kids are starving.
Thank you for tuning in to Revolution Radio. Here at Revolution Radio, we believe in freedom of ideas, freedom of speech, but above all, we believe in freedom of existence through self-reliance. This station is 100% listener-supported, and as a fundraising promotion, I have a kick-ass free gift for a $100 donation. 35,000 seeds. 25 years in the freezer. Long-term storable, 54 different varieties. So if food prices go crazy, the shit hits the fan, or if you just want to save tons of money every year by creating your own food like I do, grab our seed pack special. Just look for the banner on the homepage at freedomslips.com. Don't be a statistic. Don't be part of the problem. Be part of the solution. We need, as humans, to start taking care of ourselves and not depending on the megacorps to provide unhealthy, nasty food. Included in this package is also a DVD with 900 survival and off-grid living documents and the offline home canning, how to do everything website, all on the DVD. So when you're growing all that food, you know how to can it, store it, preserve it, etc. with all these documents. So thank you for tuning in to Revolution Radio at freedomslips.com. I hope that you will pick up this package and start learning to be free. Revolution Radio, freedomslips.com, where information never sleeps and freedom is one seed that needs to be planted.
What are we doing live? Here goes in the time.
All right, let's get it going. Are you ready? Are you ready? Let's go! Revolution Radio at freedomslips.com. It is 10 p.m. Thursday evening, and we are here live on Studio A. Yeah, you've waited all week for the most cutting-edge topics and guests, and now it is time to deliver. That's right, it's the Stephen D. Kelley Show with your host, Stephen D. Kelley.
All right, good evening. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the tonight's edition of the Stephen D. Kelley Show. I'm your host, Stephen D. Kelley. Happy Thursday night, or wherever you are, 7:02 p.m. here on the West Coast of California. Just getting dark, 10:02, I'm sure, over on the East Coast. Anyway, tonight we have with us Mahmoud from Syria, and I'm going to invite him to join me in just a moment. But we were also scheduled to have Gaby and Modar with us also, and Modar apparently is out of town, and Gaby apparently is still asleep. It's 5 a.m. over there in Damascus. So hopefully Gaby will wake up, but if he doesn't wake up, Mahmoud is more than capable to get us through the evening, and happy to have him or her with me. And he's actually stayed up all night. It's, as I said, it's 5 a.m. We were chatting at 3 a.m. I'm like, what are you doing? What are you awake? What's going on here? And he stayed up all night. But anyway, so it should be a good show. And basically we want to catch up with what's going on in Syria, and specifically what his personal experiences are happening over there in Damascus, and what he can tell his perspective of some of the other things. And we also want to discuss the other big geopolitical events that are taking place right now in the world that could obviously start World War III, if you will. Aside from that, I want to remind everybody that this is listener-supported radio. Revolution Radio is the largest listener-supported internet radio station in the world, which is really incredible when you think about it. And, in spite of that, we don't have a big budget, and I look at it, we've got 27 days in the month. We're not doing bad. We've raised $180. We need to raise a total of $1,900, so do the math. We got so many days to get so much money. So obviously it all adds up, and with the number of listeners we get, it all helps. I want to, definitely want to get you guys to please go to the site support button on the www.freedomslips.com webpage. The same place you go to listen to the station, and please support us once in a while if you can. You know, don't have Starbucks, give it to us, $5, whatever. It's all helpful. You know. Anyway, there's something else that's new. Sean, I'm going to tell you all about this, and hopefully I get it right. But I just heard this last night. The Nighthawk, our station owner, is going to be offering podcasts, and I'm not sure if this is something you download or if this is a DVD type thing or a CD, but apparently it will have this. You purchase these things for $15, I think it is, and it has the entire season, which would be a year of broadcast for one particular host, one show, if you will. And I thought, wow, that's kind of cool. But the nice thing about that is that he's going to actually split it with the hosts, you know, minus the shipping or whatever is involved, you know, expenses. So the net, he's going to split the net with the hosts. So that's suddenly the hosts are going to get a little kickback for whether or not people want to buy these. I mean, you know, that's the thing. If the content is that good to where people are going to want to own it, you know, for posterity, then that's like selling a book, I suppose. But when you think about it, if you do 52 shows a year, which is, you know, just one show a week, I guess, and you do a 2-hour show, you know, that's 104 hours of audio for $15. So it seems like a pretty darn good deal. But anyway, what else? Okay, also, I want to remind people to go to the chat room. If you haven't done it before, please go to the chat room. There's plenty of room for you in there, and we'd like to meet you. We watch the chat room, and we take your questions. The call-in number for tonight, I'm assuming, is the normal call-in number, which is 347-688-2902. And you can also Skype us in at Freedom Screen, one word. And I also want to tell people to go to our Facebook page. Revolution Radio Facebook page is Facebook.com/Freedom Slips. So go there, press a button, say you like it. That's all it takes. And that's all, you know, we'd like to see thousands of you that are listening to please do that after the show. Don't forget. Okay? Also, you can go to my Facebook page. And also, you know, I want you guys, if you should all have my email, which is law17gun@aol.com, and law17gun, G-U-N, you know, LAW17GUN, gun, at AOL.com. And this way, if you want to buy my book, or if you have a question, because a lot of times people out there, they have an experience, will say something on the radio, go, oh my gosh, that happened to me, or this or that. And very often it'll be somebody that's got some sort of an experience involving extraterrestrials or something of this nature, or whatever, you know, targeted individuals, this kind of thing. So I have plenty of time. If you want to contact me, the best way to do that is email me, or you can contact me through Facebook. Again, friend me on Facebook, and I will talk to you if you message me. So great way to communicate. And again, if you want to buy my book, that's a good way to do it too. All right, enough chit chat. Mahmoud, how you doing?
I'm good.
All right. Well, I'm sorry that you're the only one joining us, but that's okay with me because I think we will have good sound. You know.
Yes, all the time.
Yeah. I think the last time, I don't know, it was Gaby had problems with the sound last time, huh?
Yeah, it's Gaby.
Yeah. And then Modar, heck, he's out there, like you said, he's kicking the ball around the house, you know, while you're on the air, so he didn't really contribute a whole lot last time anyway. But, okay, well, I'll tell you, Mahmoud, the reason why I kind of asked you guys, I mean, first of all, the audience, the listening audience likes you guys. Okay, I'll tell you right now.
They do?
Yeah, you guys are popular, sure.
Thank you.
and also, it's not just the listeners. I'll tell you right now, a lot of the producers think you're pretty cool also, and are happy. Like I know Major Tom, when he has the show right after me. Those guys are always happy. Yeah, but remember when we go into the other show, if we were to do that, I'm not saying we're going to do that tonight, but they always appreciate it when we do that. So that shows how much they enjoy having you on the show. And I've heard that quite a few times from the producer, Kevin, I guess his name is something like that. Kevin Arizona, that's it. Anyway, but so the thing is that I kind of wanted to have you guys just come back on a regular basis anyway, a month or after so long, once a month or every other month, just to kind of check up on you and give us a status report of what's going on, on what's on the ground report of what's going on just in Syria, Damascus, and so there's plenty of stuff to talk about right there. And, I don't want to say that the listeners or the public is fickle. Their focus shifts in another direction. Obviously, everybody's focused on the Ukraine right now. I mean, how can you not be focused on what's going on in the Ukraine?
I'm kind of jealous, actually. The whole world used to be concerned about Syria all the time. No, it's Ukraine.
And now
they took our place now.
Whole other thing, huh?
Yeah.
Well, we're going to talk about that because it's still very similar, and there's certain things that
in many ways, yes.
Yeah, people need to understand that. So we're going to talk about that. But before we talk about the Ukraine and the connections with the Ukraine and what's going on in your country, first of all, when I follow your Facebook posts, sometimes you get frustrated. I know you write this stuff in English, and it probably comes off a little bit differently than you're speaking it in your regular language. But you get frustrated, with like the food situation and with these truces or with these ceasefire agreements and what have you, and restricting the ability to travel and move and go through checkpoints and so right away. Is the situation kind of getting worse? I know I'm kind of trying to follow what's going on. You said that there was a guy who, the Syrian, the sergeant that got killed. What's the latest and all that stuff?
Okay, here's the thing. From the beginning, I told you last time that there are two cities in Damascus suburbs, Qudsaya and Al-Hami. They are next to each other's, and surrounding those two cities there are how do I say it? Like pro-Assad territories.
Uh-huh.
So there was a truce that no one from the Syrian army gets to Qudsaya and Al-Hami, and no one from the Free Army in those two cities goes outside. They each of both stays in their territory. But what happened last 2 weeks ago, there was a sergeant, probably he was coming from Jumraya, which is not Jumraya, it's called the Mountain of Roses. That's the actual translation of the meaning. It's Jabal al-Warad. So it's a pro-Assad territory. The sergeant was driving from his car. He wanted to go somewhere. He got mistaken in the road. He wanted to go to a certain place, but he went to the other road. So he made a mistake, and that mistake cost him his life, unfortunately. He went to Al-Hami. There are some Nusra fighters in Al-Hami. Not much, but there are some. So they saw his car. They suspected that, he is a sergeant in the Syrian army. Let's kill him. So they started shooting at him. They started to chase him, and so he ran. He ran away from Al-Hami. He went to Qudsaya. There was no other way to run for. He had to go to Qudsaya. So he went inside. He was driving his car with his family. he went to Kutsaya, to the main square of it, and well, he was driving fast and in a mad way, because he was freaked out that he might get killed, he might get kidnapped, and he got scared for his family. He didn't want them to die. He wanted to protect them, so he had to do this. There was no other choice. Anyway, there are many stories about this incident. However, the sergeant was driving through the main square of Kutsayas. He accidentally hit a kid, and the kid died after that car. After the sergeant accidentally hit him, so the kid died, and some from the Free Army here in Kutsaya. There's just one fighter from the Free Army in Syria, in Kutsaya. He took his weapon and started shooting at the car of the sergeant. So he killed him and killed his son. And after that, he ran away to outside Kutsaya and Al-Hame, through tunnels, through whatever, I don't know how. He just ran away. And after the sergeant and his kid died, the wise men of town in Kutsaya, they took the woman and her daughter. They drove him to the closest Syrian army checkpoint. They told them that this happened and this happened, so take them and you take someone and hand them to, I don't know how, just take someone. Yes,
I understand. Yeah, kind of. They have to take care of them.
Yes,
take responsibility.
Yeah, I mean the checkpoint is pro-Assad. Is the Syrian army checkpoint.
So they were turning him over to these other people for their own protection, per se. This was the family of the guy that hit the kid, is the idea?
Yes.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, the sergeant was from the Syrian army and the checkpoint from the Syrian army. So they are the best ones to take care of the lady and her daughter. So until here, when this happened, the road was closed on Kutsaya and Al-Hame. And unfortunately, we are now besieged, under siege, lockdown.
Right.
Yeah, no food gets in, no food gets out. It was bad when it started. They wouldn't let the Syrian army checkpoints around the two towns. They didn't let anyone go out. They didn't let anyone to get in. They said there was a sergeant who died in there. We must punish the whole cities. It actually doesn't make sense, because they are making their emotions overcome their wisdom. Like in the army, you don't allow your emotions to lead you to the things you want to do. You should think and not let your emotions make you do things. So the army, they are not real army. They are like recruited people. Like they are they went there, they volunteered, and they are. Sorry, I'm trying to translate it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like these people on the checkpoints around the two cities, they are mostly normal people. They just go to the government. They say that we want to be recruited. We want to volunteer and take guns and protect ourselves and fight with the government.
It's a militia person, I guess, huh?
Yeah, like that.
Citizen.
They are not.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are citizens, but working for the government as recruited ones.
Right.
if I
Okay.
can say that.
Yeah.
So it's been like 2 weeks of siege. Uh, it it got worse after that. After the sergeant died, as I told you, no one goes in or out. No food gets in town. It was like that for a few days. Then they allowed people to go out on foot.
Uh-huh.
Like they leave town on foot. They don't take their cars and get out. And after that, after 3 or 4 days, like last week, they allowed people to go out, but not all people. Just employed people who are employed in the government institutions, and the students, school students, college students. They were allowed to leave town and get back to town.
Mm-hmm. What about did they allow people to carry food in, or anything like that?
About food, they still didn't allow anything. Just 2 days ago, they allowed a flour truck. There's a truck full of flour to make bread.
Right. Uh-huh.
They allowed one truck to get in Kutsaya and one truck to get in Al-Hame. So each town gets a truck.
Huh.
And yesterday, maybe I don't know, but it is assured, like 80% assured that another truck of vegetables and fruits they allowed it to get in Kutsaya yesterday, but it immediately just got sold out. People just saw all these vegetables and fruits. They just went there and bought it in a minute.
Yeah, no doubt.
There's something happened with me yesterday. I as I said, I was out of town for like 4 days. I was working on my military delay. So I finished my operation and I went back to town. I had two packs of bread.
Right.
So on the checkpoint, the soldier told me, "What do you have in your hand?" I said, "I have 2 packs of bread." He said, "Really? You can't have 2 packs. You have only 1 pack. Put 1 pack of bread right there." So I put it back. They allow food, but there are some restrictions. There are some rules. It actually doesn't make sense to punish a whole city with 500,000 people who are innocent, who had nothing to do with the death of this sergeant. They have nothing to do with anything.
So this stuff like this is kind of making the people, at least living where you are, kind of a little less pro-Assad, or should,
It normally does, yes. It makes some people less pro-Assad. They say that we used to support you all the time. We still support you, and you are besieging us for something we didn't do. It doesn't make sense. It just makes the things worse. You can't fight fire by fire.
Well, the whole idea is because this guy got away, they think that he lives there. It's a guerrilla operation.
Yeah, probably, maybe.
Yeah.
So the wise men of Kutsaya and Al-Hame, they gathered with the Syrian army officials and sergeants. So they said that they give like 6 million Syrian pounds to the sergeant's family. It's like a habit in Syria that when you kill someone accidentally, you give the person, the guy, you give money for that person's family as an apology, like that. So they are still collecting money. They only reached to 1,200,000. They still have much to collect.
Well, I wonder what that is in dollars, roughly. Any idea what the exchange rate is between, what is it? What it is in Syria? Dinars, or what is the?
It's pounds.
Pounds, okay. All right. Any idea how many? Yeah. So I'm sorry. Go ahead.
A dollar equals 150 pounds, approximately.
Okay.
Yeah. So, as I said, it doesn't solve the problem by besieging people who didn't do anything. Like we are innocents. I mean, if we knew where this guy is, we would tell you. They should just.
I can certainly see your perspective. It seems really logical, and you're right.
Yeah.
You know, you're right, and I can see now how quick a military would try to deal with it, because that's conventional warfare techniques is containment. The U.S. military would do the same thing, and yet from your perspective, we can see how it's not fair, and yet all they're doing by assuming that they're making more enemies.
Yeah, I mean, like the guy has escaped. I mean, there's no more reason to keep the roads closed like that. I mean, you should keep the life normal and keep it all like it was, and go search for this guy. I mean, if he escaped, I mean, why to keep us locked like this?
Mahmoud, I'm sorry. Somebody just joined us here. We have a caller. Normally we wait until the end of the hour to call, but since it's just us, it doesn't matter. We'll go ahead and take this caller. So area code 260. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Well, I was just trying to listen in, and I'd never been. Somebody told me to try Freedom Slips and the Bo and Rocco show, and the number I dialed, I thought it was like TalkShoe, where you call in to listen to the show, because I couldn't get it to come up on my computer. To listen on the computer.
Well, you're not the only one that does that. A lot of people do that, but that's not really what it's for. Of course, this is our call-in number. The best way to listen to this is on your computer, of course, or on your phone.
Okay. I couldn't find the button to listen in on the computer.
Oh, well, that's really simple. Just go to www.freedomslips.com, and then once you get that page up, you go to Studio A. It's pretty simple. I recommend people, the first thing they do when they go to that www.freedomslips.com is to go into the chat room, and then once you're in the chat room and you have your name and you have a presence established, everybody says hello. Then right away you see the button for the station A or station B.
That's what I couldn't find was Schedule B. Now I see it's in the chat room. Thank you so much.
Well, we're in Studio A. We're in the main studio. Yeah, prime time.
Okay. Thanks.
But, no problem. But listen, I hope you're enjoying the show so far.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
You sure you don't have a question while you're here? Something you want to say to? I mean, my God, it's just. You got this guy in Damascus over here you can pose a question to. Not take advantage of this.
I really don't right now. Thank you.
All right. Well, thanks for calling in and, keeping us entertained. So enjoy the rest of the show.
I will.
All right. Well, hey, how about that? What do you think, Sean? Did I handle that okay?
That was very professional, yeah, and you got him where he needed to go.
Okay, well, it's important that people get that information, right? That is really a good idea. If people would, when they go to that station on their computer, would just go into the chat room first thing. It's kind of that's what I do, So anyway, Mahmoud, where were we? Okay. So seriously now, you personally, there's how many people are we talking about in your area right now? This area that's being closed off, your city.
No. Before anything happened, it was like 500,000. Some people left. Like now, I think it's like 300,000.
Wow, so a lot of people left. Okay, but this food situation, though, I mean, one truck of flour per city, and maybe some vegetables. Doesn't sound like everybody's getting to eat. So you yourself, how's your diet been lately? Are you getting
since I
enough
was-
to eat?
Yeah, we have enough to eat right now. So we have other places to get food from.
Okay. You can slip here and there and get food where you need it.
Yeah.
You got the connections. All right, the hookups. Very good. All right. Well, that still sounds kind of desperate. So, the way it seems to me is that you guys, for the most part, are in Damascus. Relatively, you're suburbs of Damascus. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Damascus suburbs.
Damascus suburbs. So the thing is that if any place in the country was going to be somewhat secure, that would be the last place, right? I mean, whatever you want to call them, the Free Army, whatever areas that they control, the last place that they are going to get control of, you would think, would be these, inside of Damascus or close to Damascus. I would expect Assad to be pretty harsh in those sections. So in other words, your perspective is going to be if the most protected, we're going to assume it. When we know that when things are going really bad in your area, that it's really bad for the whole country. That's like going to be the end, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like when the United States was at war in Vietnam, and the countries, or take any major war, even Germany, as the territory, they get, as soon as they get to the capital, it's all over. So anyway, all right, what are you going to do? Are you going to wait till the end, or are you going to? How bad is it going to get before you take off?
Wait for what to end?
Well, I mean, obviously, personally, I would like to see the money stop flowing to the opposition, and I would like to see it end. I would like to see, whatever the problem is with Assad that is causing these people to complain. Obviously, we'd like to see that dealt with, but at the same time, personally, I'm all for Assad staying in power. I don't think, and it's precisely because we're trying to get rid of him. It's just like Gaddafi. Obviously, I was rooting for Gaddafi, clearly, and I think Assad is a very similar position. Saddam Hussein, I wouldn't say I was rooting for him, but again, he was CIA, so we created him. He was our own bad guy. Anyway, okay, so you're not suffering food wise, but you are not able. You have to walk through these checkpoints to get out of town. How often are you doing that? Having to walk through these checkpoints?
Like every 2 days, every 3 days, not all the time. Before this siege was imposed, I used to go there every day. Like I take a bus from Qudsaya to Damascus directly, but through a subway, not subway, a branch road, if I can say, not the main road, a branch road, like. We go to Qudsaya suburbs, then to another place called Mashru' Dammar. It's another city in Damascus. Then you get from that city to Damascus. It's a long road, but it was okay. Like we can go in and go out. But now it's pretty hard for us. And we are employees and students. We can go in and go out, but we still have problems. However, some people they are not employed, they are not students, they are stuck here until this problem is solved.
So you have to have identification, something special identification to be able to travel like that?
You have to be a student or an employed. Or employed for the government institutions. They give you this card, student card or employee card. You show them to the checkpoint. They let you in. They let you out.
That's a good incentive to be a student, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'll go back to school. Yeah, I understood it. Yeah.
But there's this good thing about what's happening here. Not that the sergeant died or we are being besieged or whatever. The good thing is they are solving it by talking. They don't want to fight. They don't want to clash together. They don't want to bomb each other's. The wise men gathered with the Syrian army officials and sergeants. They said we can solve this by talking, by dialogue. You have your terms, we can fulfill them, and we have our terms, fulfill them for us, and we are okay. I think it's
this guy. Okay, let me just ask you a question. Okay,
yeah.
This guy that shot the sergeant. All right.
Yeah.
Obviously, he wasn't. It's hard to question what he did a lot because of the situation, like you said, the kid getting run over, situations like that. It's very reminiscent of scenes I've seen in other countries. But if this guy was a Free Syrian Army, if this guy was FSA, is there any kind of excuse me? Is there any kind of control amongst these people over who is who? In other words, it's like, would this guy really be somebody that higher ranking people in the FSA would know who it was, or would they have the actual power to locate this person if they wanted to, only because he had to report to his commanders and things like this?
Yes, I think the FSA they have high people in their in their leadership. I think they know where he is, but they are not saying where he is exactly.
Yeah.
So, but
the Syrian army is not completely wrong in being upset with these FSA guys for hiding this guy, perhaps.
They're not so wrong, but this guy, this sergeant who died, is not like a normal sergeant. He's from a professional veteran squad from the army. It's called the 4th Squad. It's like they are even better than the CIA. Believe me.
Ah, okay. So they didn't like this.
So,
well, the shooter didn't know this, though, huh?
They should have known.
Well,
yeah.
He should have a sticker on his car, Yeah.
Yeah. So the 4th Squad, these guys, they shouldn't mess with. But he got killed here, and so they need to
you
punish
think this guy was drinking or something, or was there some reason that was he impaired in some way that kept him from driving the right way? I know, sometimes in these situations where people go down the wrong road and get in trouble, it's because they were drinking or they were out late. They did.
You mean the sergeant?
Yeah.
No, I don't think so.
No.
I mean, he was with his family. He can't drive while drinking.
The whole family was with him, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
He just got to the wrong road. He probably was visiting someone, or probably was didn't know much about the area. Like this road leads to death. This road leads to safety. Maybe he didn't know that.
Yeah. Well,
so
I don't know. It just. I'm sure he didn't, I'm sure he's a good Muslim and all that, but, you never, sometimes it sounds like this, whoever he was visiting, he took a couple of drinks of something strong and got a little lost on the way back out. That's why he made that wrong turn. Something happened that distracted him.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, you never know. These people, pull out a bottle and here, take a couple of these here while you're visiting. So who knows, but that's a secret we don't know. And that sometimes, for the rash behavior and the driving and the evasive and obviously the adrenaline when you're afraid and you're.
Yes, he was afraid, terrified. He didn't know where to go. And the main road of Qudsaya to Damascus was blocked. Maybe if this road was open, he would just move like beside Qudsaya and get to there's a Syrian army checkpoint after that, but since it's blocked, he cannot go through it. If it was opened, he could have gone to the Syrian army checkpoint, and he might not died. You know.
Well, it's a very unfortunate situation for sure.
Yeah, but it's his faith.
Yeah. Well, anyway.
No one can stop the faith.
Okay, let's see. What can we come up with a good spin? There's got to be something good going on. Well, I'll tell you one thing. We were talking about Ukraine, all right, and you were mentioning how obviously people are focused on the Ukraine and they're not focused so much on the situation in Syria and the Middle East right now. But at the same time, you're still going to be affected. Obviously, for instance, if the United States is foolish enough to get involved militarily over there in Crimea or Ukraine, then certainly that's going to be less resources that can be used to support the opposition in Syria.
Yeah.
So, it's a bad situation. I hope there's, obviously, well, of course it's mostly bad for the United States. Some people, I don't know, whoever thinks it may be worse for the other countries involved, but I really don't think the United States has a leg to stand on. And I firmly believe that the United States has put huge amounts of dollars into the Ukraine the same way they've put huge amounts of money into the hands of the FSA, along with weapons. And I don't think that the United States has shipped weapons into the Ukraine. Of course, it's not really necessary naturally, and it hasn't become that kind of a war yet. But, and then, of course, Venezuela. I don't know if you've been following what's going on in Venezuela, but they've also been having huge riots and, very large amounts of people in the streets. And these are also situations where the United States has spent a lot of money to support these opposition groups and to get people excited. And it's turned out, I don't know if you heard of this story, but in the Ukraine, the snipers, and tell me if this reminds you of things that happened in Syria, but they're finding out now that the snipers that were in the Ukraine shooting at the protesters and also shooting at the police, the riot police,
from the Ukraine.
They're not from the Ukraine.
Yeah.
They're actually
in Syria.
They were paid for by the opposition. They've actually found emails. They've intercepted emails showing that these groups of these sniper teams were financed.
I read about it yesterday.
Yeah, financed by the USA.
Yeah.
So yeah, but that's right. Remember the same thing. They did that in Syria too. Same thing.
Yes, the same thing.
Yep.
And I hope the Ukraine doesn't get to where we got to.
Well, that's the thing. Right now it's very it's very tense, obviously. But the latest is that Crimea has essentially decided to become part of Russia. Which is a big deal because obviously Crimea is part of the Ukraine, and Crimea was the home to a very substantial Russian Navy base. The Black Sea Fleet, I guess, is based in Crimea. So that's a coup for Russia, and when I'm sure some people out there will try to suggest that this is similar to the Hitler, kind of a situation. But I don't know. Nothing that Russia does I can really complain about because of what we've been doing to destabilize that country and because of how important that country is to Russia's best interest. What do you think, Mahmoud?
Yeah, I can agree with you. Most of the things.
Mm-hmm. Well,
I just don't agree with this foreign intervention. Like Russia wants in, the U.S. wants in. I don't know who else wants to get in. I mean, they are doing just like what they did in Syria. When the protestants started, they were peaceful, they were normal. No security guy interrupted their protesting. It was all peaceful, and suddenly some protesters died, and no one could find out what killed them. But sooner they found out that some snipers and mercenaries killed them, and they are not Syrian. So it's the same case everywhere, and maybe they are doing some distraction. Like, oh, look at Ukraine, there are protesting, there are people getting killed. Russia wants to take the Crimea island, right? Is that the name?
Yeah, well, it's a peninsula, I guess is what they call
Peninsula,
it.
yeah.
Peninsula,
So they are distracting people from Syria and all other places in the Middle East they are directing the attention to the Ukraine, so they can they can do whatever they want in Syria and in the Middle East as a whole. Did you know that there have been some stuff happening on the borders between Syria and the occupied Golan?
Oh, right. Yeah, I think Syria has basically threatened Israel and said that if they continue to violate the ceasefire, that they would step up, whatever, do more.
Yes.
Yeah. Obviously, this is a problem, and I think about that, that I think that Syria has a substantial army, but Israel has 300 nuclear bombs.
Yeah, if anything happened, Israel would just like do this self determination and enemy determination. Like, if I have to die, I'm taking you with me.
Samson, yeah, that's the Samson doctrine.
Yes.
You know the Samson story, right? It's from the Bible.
No, but I know
well,
this,
Mahmoud, I gotta share the Samson story with you real quick, okay?
Okay.
All right. This is Old Testament, and basically Samson was this very, very strong Israelite, supposedly. Okay,
Yeah.
very, very strong, stronger than 10 men, whatever. He was a large man, and he had very long hair, and nobody could defeat him, and he pretty much held the king at bay because of his strength and nobody's ability to hurt him. And the king got this woman. I think the woman was, I don't know if it was Jezebel, whatever her name was. There's obviously she was a temptress, and she beguiled him. She tempted him and got him to tell her his secret, and says his secret was his hair. So she made him drink, and then when he went to sleep, she cut his hair off, and he lost his strength. And when he lost his strength, the king captured him easily, and they took him to a court, and they chained him to these pillars of this building, and they laughed at him, and they tortured him, and I think they gouged his eyes out and things like this. But he asked for, this is the story goes, he asked for revenge, or for whatever strength, to smite his enemies. And essentially what happened was his hair grew out, and his strength returned, and he was chained to these two pillars of this building, and he pulled down the pillars, and had the roof fall down on everybody and kill everybody in the room. So, and it killed him, obviously, but that's the Samson doctrine. That's where that comes from. The story of Samson is like kill everybody in the room to get revenge. Yeah.
We have this same doctrine in Arabic.
Yeah. Really? Okay. Well, how does it go?
On me and on my enemies.
On me and on my enemy?
Yeah.
Well,
that's
really?
transliterating, maybe.
Well, let me see. That would be eye for an eye kind of thing, right?
Yeah, like that, but it's more like if I'm going down, I'm taking you with me.
I see.
Yeah.
All right. Well, geez. They also call that mutually assured destruction. You've heard that, right? Mutual assured destruction? Huh?
I never heard of it.
You never heard of that? That's the idea. Okay, for instance, that's MAD, MAD, mutual assured destruction. And what that is where the countries with the nuclear bombs would basically nobody would fire a rocket because they knew the other guy would fire a rocket too, and everybody would die. And so it was just assumed that no matter who pushes the button, everybody would die. And it was just assumed that as long as we know that everybody's going to die, nobody will push the button. And that's the mad concept.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Oh, Samson, Delilah. Okay, yeah. The chat room just corrected me. It's not. What was I saying? Jezebel. No, Jezebel. That's another story. Delilah. Delilah is the nasty woman that tricked Samson into shedding the secret about his long hair. How about that? Long hair gives you strength. Okay.
I just cut my hair 2 days ago.
Oh yeah, you got your hair. Well, your hair is what we call a fro, or you have a fro. How was it getting pretty big there, or what?
Yeah, it was big, and it was hard to get it done. I used to spend like hour or 2 hours to get it done, but it keeps punishing me. Like, this side is okay, this side is not. So I fix the other side. So the other side is okay, and the other one goes wrong. So I cut it all.
All right. Well, so what's going on? You said that you had some sort of army deferment. Where are you trying to delay having to serve time?
Yeah, we have in Syria this code in the law. Like, if you are an only child, you don't get to go to the army. Like, you can stay and don't fight in the army, but you have to give us a proof that you are alone and an only child, and you have no brothers. So I have to do this like every year until my mom gets to 50 years. So I become permanently only child.
Okay. Permanently only child. Well, okay.
Now I am temporarily only child.
Okay. All right. Oh, let's see here. How much do we? How does Mahmoud like his new haircut?
We got about 4 minutes.
Okay. Chat room wants to know how you like your new haircut.
Well, I miss my old haircut.
You prefer? I guess when you sleep or something, one side gets flat. Or you turn your head, you sleep on one side of your head, it gets flat, the other side's all puffed out. Yeah. Well, you know what you do, Mahmoud? Are you familiar with the concept of a do-rag?
What?
A do-rag, man. Don't you know what a do-rag is?
No.
Okay. Well, that's what the black guys wear. It's like a silk thing, or kind of it's a little bit elastic. You wear it on your head, it kind of presses everything, holds everything down.
Yeah, I know it.
Yeah.
This rapper.
Yeah.
Well,
that's what you do. Yeah, you do that before you go to bed. You put that thing, you hold everything down, you keep it in place. Keep it from getting weird. Okay. All right, we've only got a few minutes. Let's see. Keith, Arizona, who's producing the show next to us, said that he wanted to call in. I guess, Keith, if you're listening, if you want to just call in right after the break, since we're going to go on break here any second. Or you could call in any time. It doesn't matter. We'll hook you up. And let's see. Anything else? And I guess there's no chance that, what do you think, the Gaby's going to wake up in time today, Mahmoud? What do you think?
I don't think so.
No?
Because there's that guy, his name is Baron Hines. He has a radio show as well. Mm-hmm. So Gaby promised him that he will be on time and make a show like our show. But every time he promises him, he goes to sleep, because when it's evening in USA, it's dawn in Syria. So he always goes to sleep.
So this Baron Hines person, who is this person? Is this another radio show? It's not with this network, is it?
No.
Okay.
It's WTFRLY.com.
Okay. And did they find you guys through you being on this show, or how'd they find you? Or did you guys go looking for him, or what?
I don't remember, actually. He found Gaby, not me.
Yeah, okay.
Gaby found him.
He probably found him from one of the programs. Could have been the thing on YouTube, or a listener.
Yeah,
perhaps.
maybe.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you guys, like I said, there's a lot of listeners, a lot of people, and this is the third time you've been on the show, technically, I believe, right? Or no, it was the second, because the first time you didn't make it, huh?
It's the third time in your show.
Right. Okay.
But it's my fifth interview, my fifth show.
There's a lot of people who think that when you have a guest, a special guest like you, that you have some sort of you own that person. But no, I've been very happy to share you with my fellow hosts, and so I'm happy that you're getting popular. Okay, it's the music here. We're going to go to break. So the break's going to be about 5 minutes. Stick with us. Go ahead and mute Mahmoud. Everybody stay with us. We'll be right back, and then we'll be taking some callers. Don't go away.
Radio at freedomslips.com. We'll be right back after this message. The finder of lost children and missing persons. Monique Lassan. Surveillance, civil and criminal investigations. I investigate.
I am the chosen one.
Do not underestimate the power of good, and do not dismiss the strength of the child.
Yes, every Wednesday evening on Revolution Radio, come join our very own I-Investigatrix, Monique Lassan, with her private I-X-Files.
So you're the finder of lost children?
Private I-X-Files, every Wednesday from 10 to midnight Eastern, Studio B, on Revolution Radio at freedomslips.com.
I realize it's very hard for you to take in. What is your destiny to find the golden child?
Listen in to Journeys with JP, Tuesdays on Revolution Radio at 3 p.m. Eastern Time, with a variety of guests, each giving their unique perspective on their journey through to the now. Journeys offers you, the listener, a chance to share that perspective. Join me, JP, on Tuesdays at 3 p.m. Eastern on Revolution Radio, simulcast with Wolf Spirit Radio.
Every Tuesday evening on Revolution Radio at freedomslips.com, we present our goddess spiritual warrior, Kathy Bilski.
I command. I call to the architect of the universe's divine creators and ask for permission to quantum leap the world in all life forms on all planes and dimensions, seen and unseen, connected with planet Earth, to let us go beyond our known potential into the greatest unknown golden age the universes and worlds and all planets have ever experienced.
Kathy teaches the spiritual truth so that you may create a better life and be able to make positive changes for yourself and for the planet. She helps us remember that we are not powerless, but very creative spiritual beings having an Earth experience.
Time to quantum leap into the age of divine enlightenment and let Kathy provide you with the tools of knowledge you need to awaken spiritually. That's the Quantum Leap Show. Let Light Unite every Tuesday at 10 p.m. Eastern on Revolution Radio, Studio B.
Enter into a world unseen on Raven Star's Witching Hour. You will encounter eclectic topics from the realm of spirit brought into our matrix of truth. With your host, the Solaris Blue Raven. Solaris will bring you an array of unique guests covering topics from ghostly spirits to amazing anomalies, covert technology, UFOs, and shadowy global events.
And that's right here at Revolution Radio, freedomslips.com, Saturdays, midnight till 2 a.m. Eastern Time. Revolution Radio, where information never sleeps.
Let the magic rise.
Did you ever feel that things were not quite right? That everything was just ever so slightly askew?
Do you have, to paraphrase Morpheus, a splinter in your mind?
If you're interested in hearing the latest information about UFOs, the paranormal,
ancient cultures and structures,
monatomic elements,
longevity,
fantastic discoveries in science,
downloaded to your brain,
then tune into us. Hi, I'm Dave.
And I'm Mackie.
And we are Shiny Side Out, Sundays 2 to 4 a.m. Eastern. See you then.
Revolution Radio, freedomslips.com. You don't need to expect us. We're already here. Guess what, man? You got the Nighthawk here, man, and I'm telling you news, information, and entertainment. And everything that is so awesome about Revolution Radio is right here for the taking. But, you know, Revolution Radio's hosts keep it hopping and rocking year-round, 24/7. And I bet you have a favorite host, or maybe you got many favorite hosts, right? And I'm also betting you didn't catch every show. So now you can order the Season 2013 podcast disc. It's all of your favorite host shows of each show, depending on who the host is, from 2013. For now, $30 per host, which means that you get the podcast of every broadcast in 2013 that your favorite host did, starting in February, actually, this year. And not only do you help fund the station by picking these up, but you help fund your favorite host's work. Because I split the proceeds of the sale with the host, less the shipping, of course. So this is just $30, and you get a data DVD that has every podcast for the entire year. Whose podcast are you learning? Well, all you have to do is visit freedomslips.com/season 2013.htm. There's a little box. You type in your favorite host name and click pay. And when you're done, you will receive your podcast disc in 7 to 21 days, depending on the demand. Hey, man, I'm just one guy, right? Anyway, and as an added bonus, man, if you order more than 5 hosts season DVDs, I'm going to give you a free 1-year access to our daily archives. So, man, don't miss out. It's all here. It's all here. You can help us. You can help the station, help fund the station, and the host get half of it, which means you get to help fund your favorite host. I mean, how could it be better? There's no other station out here that does that. So thank you very much. This is Revolution Radio, freedomslips.com, man. You're listening to the Nighthawk, and I'm telling you what, man, this is where information never, ever sleeps, including me. Revolution Radio. Revolution Radio. You're listening to Revolution Radio, freedomslips.com, 100% listener-supported radio, and now we return you to your host.
Okay, everybody, welcome back to the second half of the Stephen D. Kelley Show. This is me, Stephen D. Kelley. Tonight, our guest is Mahmoud Hera, if I pronounced that right. Was that right, Mahmoud?
Yes.
Hera? Okay, thank you.
As an English pronouncing, it's okay, but in
Close enough?
Arabic, yeah, close enough.
Okay, in Arabic, how's it sound properly? What's the... Go ahead. Tell me, how should it sound?
Hara.
Hara? Okay, Hara. Okay, got it. All right. Anyway, Mahmoud,
yes,
that's good enough for the time being. All right, anyway, before we get back to our conversation, you did say that you had something you wanted to clarify, and we'll get to that real quick. But I don't know, those of you that are listening live and heard those commercials, you heard Nighthawk saying that, yes, we do have that season, hosts of particular hosts for 2013. So it was the year of 2013, starting in February, which probably works out good for me because I've only been there at this network 7 or 8 months, I think, personally. But and it's actually $30 for the whole year of content. So as opposed to the 15 that I was saying. So I am corrected. I stand corrected on that. But still, I am kind of excited because I'm kind of looking forward to seeing how many people are going to jump on this out of all the listeners that want to get that show. Because I mean, Mahmoud, you've been on 3 of these shows. You're going to be on 3 of these shows, and you were obviously in there during 2013. We had those big important shows during that time, and I'll tell you, as recorded radio content goes, those were very, very important shows. So, I'm proud to have you here tonight because I think that's kind of, it's sort of symbolic of this celebrating the fact that they are actually providing this recordings of all that year's programming. So, anyway. Okay, go ahead. Let me see. Wait a minute. Is there anything? Oh, yeah, that's pretty much what I want to say. And, of course, that we are listener-supported radio. You guys hear that a lot, but your donations are what keep us here and what allow us to have these wonderful shows and these wonderful guests. So please find that listener support button and send us whatever you can on a regular basis, preferably. All right, thank you. Okay, Mahmoud, what is it that you wanted to clarify?
It's about what my posts, the posts I post on Facebook. There's this guy, he was my friend, but he unfriended me because probably he didn't like what I said. He thinks that that I am not loyal to my country and I'm not a patriot. That he sent me a message after I posted something on Facebook about the siege and that we are suffering from the siege. I mean, what does he expect? He never been through in a siege before.
So he's he's very pro Assad, and he thinks that your support for Assad is lacking right now because of what you're going through. Is that it?
It's not his business if I am pro Assad or not. I mean, it's it's my choice, not his choice. He doesn't tell me who to like and who to dislike. So my point is that I was talking about how people were standing in a long line to get some bread, and I was saying that it's bad, that we need to solve this and we need to do this. We need to, make peace again and solve all the problems in a non-violent way. So he unfriended me and texted me like with this huge message. He said that I hate you. You are not patriot. You're stabbing your country and your army in the back. I mean, how did he find this out? Like, who told him that this is true? It's not true at all. In fact, when Obama threatened that he was gonna bomb Syria, I was willing to volunteer in the Syrian army if it was needed. I mean, if Obama did strike, if he did strike, I mean, I would join the Syrian army immediately and fight with the Syrian army. So
yeah, well, I can vouch for you. You've never shown any real strong support for FSA. You've been pretty close on. I mean, you've been pretty objective, but yeah.
Yeah, and he said that I never talked about how the FSA and Al Qaeda committed massacres to pro-Assad people and to the soldiers. I mean, before I start interviews on show like on audio, I was posting like I just write articles and post them about the situations. I posted about a story when this story is a little harsh. There was a family in a car going from Homs to Damascus. So there was a checkpoint for Al Qaeda, Al-Nusra maybe. They stopped the car. They said, "Show me your ID." They saw that driver's ID. So he was from a pro-Assad territory. So they got him out of car, him and his pregnant wife and their little baby, not baby, a little girl. They killed the father in front of his family. They didn't kill the daughter yet. They took the mom, the wife. They cut her tummy and took the baby out, and the baby was moving, like was alive. They slaughtered the kid, and they killed the mom in front of the little daughter. Then they shot the daughter. I mean, I said that, and I can prove it. Like I posted this in many groups, like there is a group called Friend the Whole World for We Are All One. That's the name. And I posted many things like how Al Qaeda raped girls from pro-Assad territories. They kidnapped them and they raped them one by one, and they never give the girls a break. Like a jihadist goes in and rapes the girl. He goes out and immediately another one rapes her. So they keep raping a certain girl till she dies. Then they throw her in the garbage. Then they kidnap another girl, and the same thing continues. I mean, I said those things. So he cannot just out of blue just tell me you're not patriot, you are stabbing your country and your army and this and that. He doesn't know what I've been through. I mean, everyone has been through tough situations, but no one can tell the other one that you're not truthful, you are not this, you are not that. I mean, I don't go and judge people like, oh, hey, look, I've been through this and this, and you didn't, so you are wrong, you are not good, you are blah, blah, blah. I mean, just keep your thoughts for yourself. Don't just accuse people like they are not patriot and they are backstabbers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's kind of hard. I'm sure it's very frustrating to have to convince.
And actually, when I said what I said on Facebook, and what I said here right now in the show about the Syrian army checkpoints surrounding us and blocking us from in and out, and not allowing food to get in. I mean, I'm saying this because we, the whole people of Qudsaya and Al-Hami, they are going through some emotional times. I mean, you go in the store and you find no food in in the store. Like you look to this supermarket, there's nothing. You look to this vegetables store, there is nothing. I mean, it's frustrating too. I'm not saying this because I hate my army and I hate my government and I hate my people and this and that. I mean, this is wrong. We must correct it. But do we correct it like with worse solution? I mean, does
there's really not much you can do short of having some really crazy technology. Obviously, the NSA, they could sort these things out, listening to everything everyone says. Hey, listen, Mahmoud, we had a caller here that joined us.
Okay.
Let's say hello. Area code 423. What's your name?
My name is Crystal.
Crystal. Hi, Crystal.
Is that you,
Hi.
Crystal?
Yes, it is. I'm so glad to hear your voice.
I'm glad to hear your voice finally.
Yes, I've been following, your exploits on Facebook, and I just think that you've done a great service for the world in getting your stories out there, and I hope you keep telling your stories, because a lot of what you said, especially when all of this started, we weren't getting very much news here in the United States. We were not getting adequate news about what was going on there. And talking to real people and communicating with you is huge. I mean, we're starting to realize we can't rely on our news agencies like we thought we could years ago. It's now we can get better information from the real people, and it's much more credible. And I appreciate it so much. I think all of us do, that you get out there. It takes courage to do that, and it takes dedication, and you've done all that, and, thank you.
I'm going to send you a Facebook request, Crystal, because I'm seeing you on this thread here. Okay. So it's no fair. Mahmoud, okay, Mahmoud, you're going to share one of your fans here with me? Well, this way now you can know when he's going to be, you'll get the announcements when he's going to be on the show.
Yes, and then maybe I can figure out how to actually stream it on my computer. I'll get somebody to help me.
Can I say something before you hang up, Crystal?
Yes.
When I saw the number, I immediately thought, oh, I think this is Crystal, before you say anything. Then you said, hello, my name is Crystal. Oh my God, I was right.
Got a
that's amazing. Yeah, it's like, I feel like you're, my son, and, I care about what happens to you, and I'm so glad that you, gave me this window into your life. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, too.
Well, thank you for calling in, Crystal, and you're welcome to stay on the line, stick with us, since we don't have a crowd of callers. But we do want to recommend anybody else that wants to join us right now. And Crystal, you saw the post I just put on the Facebook thread with the phone number, right?
Yes, that's how I was able to call.
So there's proof that it works right there. But the phone number that Crystal used to get in with us is 347-688-2902. So anybody else wants to join us right now and say hi to Mahmoud, now would be a great time. Oh, Keith is trying to call. Hey, Sean, can you hook up Keith for me, please? Keith, Arizona?
Yeah, sure thing.
Thank you. Anyway, so where were we, Mahmoud? Sooner or later we were going to talk a little bit more about this situation in Ukraine. And I got to tell you, there is another common denominator that you briefly brought up with this situation in the Golan. And obviously, Israel is certainly involved in stirring up the trouble in your country, and there certainly seems to be, they're involved. Yeah, the Mossad seems to be involved over there in Ukraine, too. Oh, it looks like we lost.
Mossad is involved in everything in the world. Yeah, we cannot argue about it. It's true.
Well, they captured one of the guys here recently. Yeah. Apparently, he was a Mossad agent, and they caught him with a sniper rifle in his trunk. So, not too good. But and I'll tell you something else that's really strange about that whole situation is that they've been accused right now. This new coalition is being accused of being very pro-Nazi, kind of a neo-Nazi fascist type of system, and yet these people are Jewish. For the most part, the leaders over there are individuals are Jewish, and they're pointing, the media, at least the Western media, is saying, look, these guys here that you're calling Nazis, they're Jewish. That doesn't make any sense. How could you say this about these Jewish guys? They couldn't possibly be Nazis. And yet the reality is that they are. And this is the thing, is that this whole concept of the two sides of the same coin working together like this, becoming public is crazy. And there was another thing, they said there was a Mossad guy that basically was working to organize the right-wing squads that were, causing the violence in the protests. Their little army, their little protester armies that they're putting together, and they're like little Nazi guys, but they're guys that are coordinating what they do. Were actually Israeli. All right, Keith, Arizona. Keith Roberts has joined us. Keith, of course, is the producer for Major Tom's show that comes on immediately after this show in about 40 minutes. Hi, Keith. How you doing? Keith. Unmute your mic, Keith.
Yes. I'm sorry. I'm very try to be careful with that. How are you doing, Stephen?
So far so good. Having a good evening here with Mahmoud. He's holding down the fort, and we have one of his fans, Crystal, with us, who's being very nice and quiet in the background. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well. I wanted to mention that on our show tonight we have Sherry Edwards, who reads voices. Mm-hmm. And it's very interesting to, read the notes, the frequencies in your voice.
Okay, so she's been listening to our broadcast to tell if we're lying and things like this, or what?
yeah, she can. She will analyze. She has actually free software where you can download it and analyze the voices, and will take political figures and tell us who's lying and telling the truth. It's very interesting stuff.
Yeah, I can imagine, but you probably do it with Obama. You think it doesn't work. It's always stuck on lying. It's like, no truth there.
She's done Obama.
Okay, Keith, do you have any questions for Mahmoud or anything that you'd like to say? Again, he's been on your show here not that long ago. Perhaps you just want to say hi.
Yes, hi, Mahmoud, and
hi,
thank you for friending me.
On Facebook.
I want to know how things are
Facebook there. I've been on Skype, right? Like minutes ago, right?
Yes, that was me.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're my brother.
I feel the same way, and I want to know how things are there in your country at this time. My wish is for blessings and peace there.
Thank you.
You haven't heard what we've been talking about, the food shortages and the blockades and all that, huh?
It's just in our area, not all Damascus. In Damascus, it's almost like most of Damascus suburbs and all Damascus, they are fine. Just in certain places we have situations.
Okay, I got something kind of a little more complex here. If you guys will all indulge me for here just a moment, Mahmoud. There are a couple of things, two sides to this issue, and one is the refugee issue, because right now that's a big thing, and what you can tell me about that with the people who have been displaced, and within side of Syria and outside of Syria in the neighboring countries, and the other issue, and this is mainly for the benefit of some of the people listening that are from Turkey. What do you their position? I know a lot. The Turkish government seems to be a little anti-Assad. A little kind of not really pro-Israel per se, but, and I don't know how much they're involved with helping FSA, if they are or if they aren't. But, I've heard a little negativity from the Turkish people with respect to the who's responsible for the refugee crisis. Can you talk about that a little bit?
The refugees in Turkey?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know if they have refugees from Syria and Turkey or not, but what I'm saying is that
they are. There are a lot.
All right. So when Turkey gets upset about the refugee problem, though, they talk about Assad, they blame it on Assad. Do you think that's fair? Do you think that they should be, realize that the FSA holds a lot of the responsibility for this?
Would you repeat the question?
Well, how do you feel? Okay, let me just make this more simple. How do you feel about Turkey's position with everything that's going on in Syria?
Actually, let me tell you this. The whole Syrian north was safe. But thank Turkey and their vigilantes, they just allowed al-Nusra and al-Qaeda fighters to get in Syria through the north. And now the north of Syria is one of the most dangerous places in Syria. Like, I am from Aleppo originally. I cannot go there because maybe Al-Qaeda will decapitate my head if they see me.
Yeah, no doubt. Especially with your hair, huh? Look at this. Get this one. like curly hair. Look at go. You'll be a trophy.
Yeah, so they have a huge role in causing many effects on Syria, on the safety, especially in the north, and they keep arming the opposition in the Syrian north. They keep arming them and giving them weapons, and heavy weapons. Like
they are, huh? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So they're just as dirty as the U.S. They're just as much involved.
There's another thing.
Yeah. All right.
In the first year of the crisis, there is this city in Idlib. You know Idlib? It's next to Aleppo. It has borders with Turkey. So there was clashes and stuff like war in a city in Idlib. It's called Jisr al-Shughur, if you came across it. So there was clashes and brutal clashes in that city, which made the citizens to escape from that city to Turkey, which is close. Only between Turkey and that city is the border. So they went there to a refugee camp, and 400 Syrian ladies were raped by Turkish soldiers.
Okay. You don't hear that in the media over here.
You never hear that in the media. Why would they tell this?
No. All right. Well, I do have, like I said, listeners in Turkey, friends in Turkey, and we don't really talk politics, but at the same time, they are an Islamic country, so you expect there to be some cooperation. But I know historically, there's always been competition, I think, between Syria and Turkey, and even Iraq, for that matter. Huh?
Yeah. Actually, just to make this clear, I speak for the Syrian people when I say that we have no problem with the people of any country, except for Israel. We have no problem with any people. We have no problem with Americans, Canadians, British, Europeans, Africans, Asians. They are all our brothers. We have no problems with them, but the problem is their government. Yeah.
Go ahead. You wanted to say something?
No, that's what I wanted to say.
I think that's so true. I think I feel the same way, and I'm so glad. Thank goodness for websites like Facebook, where we can actually communicate with each other and realize it's not the people that are doing this; it's their governments that are doing it. It's almost like we're all in the same boat.
Yeah.
Well, that's the other thing, Mahmoud, is that I think some of your friends, and especially some of the people on Facebook, they think that just because you're in communication with, people like me and other people, and, Americans, that somehow that means that, you know, you're sympathetic to the politics or the policies of this country, whether or not the Americans that you're talking to, such as us, would agree with any of these policies. So you see, that's kind of like you're getting hit twice with that. You know, we don't agree with it in the first place, and just because you associate with us, you're getting your guilt by association. So it keeps going around.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's unfortunate, you know, because these people, because I've seen it on Facebook. I know I've seen you make comments, something to the extent of, you know, just because my American friends, you know, don't think automatically I do this just because I have American friends or whatever, something like this. And I know what you mean, you know, but those people, that just shows how much they don't know. They don't know. If they had maybe listened to some of these broadcasts, they'd know that we did everything we could to, you know, keep Obama from bombing Syria, and I think we were successful at that. And they should give us a little bit of credit.
Yeah, they should.
You know, yeah, you too. And Gaby's the star.
Gaby and Modar.
Yeah, Modar. But obviously you're important because you were the one that was the most instrumental with getting this whole thing set up in the first place, I believe.
Really?
Yeah. Well, yeah. All the initial contacts originally were from you, and then eventually I hooked up with Modar and Gaby. And then, of course, when we did the first show, you were having issues, and Gaby eventually did pretty much the whole show, which was okay. He did a very good job. But, you know, naturally, the next time around, you were, you know, more important. And, of course, this time here, it's all about you. So you're the star tonight.
Okay.
All right. We have room for more callers. Let's see here. I got to go back now and look at the page with a phone number on it. But anyway, okay. 347-688-2902. Come on. I know there's some more people out there that want to say hi to Mahmoud and harass them. I don't think we're going to have Hijacker calling up and getting into any kind of tirade about Islam and whatnot, but we're not really focused on Islam tonight. Actually, we can go anywhere you want, but again, naturally, we're interested in what's going on in Syria, but at the same time, you know, your perspective on other events going around the world is important too. So, you guys help me out. How about you, listener? Do you have anything else you want to say to Mahmoud besides how wonderful he is?
Not really. I guess all I would like to say to him is that I'll be in touch and I'll be keeping track of you, and please keep us informed because you're doing a service to the world, really.
Thank you. I'm glad to hear this.
Yeah,
well,
thank you. And
Crystal, you can help, you know, just by telling your friends to tune into these shows and telling more people about this stuff and send them to our, you know, the YouTube thing so they can listen to these things.
Okay, well, when I figure out how all that works, then I will.
Well, share this stuff on Facebook. You know, that's a good way. Now that you're hooked up to me on Facebook, and obviously you're hooked up to Mahmoud, and he shares stuff. So help us out by just sharing.
I've shared his stuff. Yeah, I've definitely shared his stuff a lot.
Okay.
Because I want to keep it human. I want people to realize we're talking about human beings here. This isn't a movie.
Well, the next time I have him on my program, you're going to see the little advertisement, and you can share that too. Okay.
All right. Thanks.
All right. We have another caller just joined us. Thank you. Thank you, Crystal. Area code 604. What is your name and where are you calling from?
Well, hello. This is SJ. I'm calling from British Columbia.
Hey, SJ. How you doing?
First time caller.
Yeah. Right. Okay. So anyway, SJ, of course, is a fixture here.
I wanted to talk to Mahmoud about, in generalities. Mahmoud, are you still there?
Yes, I am.
Speaking generally, and I realize that I'm generalizing a bit, but I would say that most of the Americans, most of the North Americans, and that's a pretty big continent, a series of two really big countries are in agreement with you and share the same problems. We have, in some ways, just as repressive a government as what you're facing immediately. Ours is even more sophisticated and more in-depth. It permeates the entire society. And we have problems with it, you know. Our ability to change it is limited quickly.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I feel for you, bro. I just wanted to call up and let you know that I
Yes,
feel
I know,
about
brother.
the- Yeah, right on, bro. And that's all I wanted to say. Love you all. Let people know that there's a lot of people here that would love to love them if they could. We'd love to do stuff with them if we could. We'd like to talk to them anytime.
You, SJ, you've called in before at some of the last shows when the guys were on, didn't you?
Sure, hundreds of times.
Oh, okay.
I was just kidding with the first-time caller. But.
No, I mean, I know, but I mean, you know, Mahmoud, of course, has, and Gaby and Modor have been here at least 3 times on my show.
Yep,
and I was just, okay, great. All right.
Well, I'm impressed by the courage that they have. You know, it doesn't take much in a repressive government for them to go from speaking out for basic civil rights and freedoms to being persecuted. And I'm glad that they have the courage to do it, and I thank them for it. And it's important to let people know that you appreciate what they're doing.
Yeah, well, Modar, Mahmoud, you're the hero, but, you know, come on, tell SJ that I'm your hero. Come on, set him straight. Come on. All right.
I'm sure he would, and in many ways, you're my hero as well.
All right. I want to welcome Karen, just joined us.
I'll bring on.
Yeah, hi, Karen. Anything special you'd like to say to Mahmoud?
Absolutely. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much, Stephen. Salamat Jah. Salam. I'm very appreciative of what you're doing over there, and my heart is with you and prayers at this time. So I just wanted to thank you for everything you're doing, for your patience and understanding. It's a lot to have to deal with. So I wanted to phone in and thank you directly, even though we are connected here on Facebook. So, Mahmoud, I'm really appreciative, and for doing what we can to protect the women and the children in that area there, that we can all come together, as you said, in brothers and sisters, and come together in peace. Start looking at gifting and doing this in a natural and loving way, that we can co-create these sacred spaces again and do it without commerce and come back into the basics that we all require, which is love. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Karen, did I add you like 1 hour ago before the show?
We're quick,
on Facebook?
aren't we? That's quick when you get a kilometer. You get those angels around you. So I do appreciate what you're doing. You guys are very good men. And as we're coming together internationally, that's a huge thing. So we're watching very carefully, and we're praying for you and for the people there. So I just wanted to let you know that our hearts are with you at this time.
Thank you.
Well, Karen, I guess while we're here, I'm going to take advantage of you. We're talking about Syria. Obviously, this is a very big deal. Yep. But at the same time, I've been trying to draw parallels between what's going on in Ukraine and what's going on in Syria and all the different ramifications, how they're going to change things on the grand scale and even on a local scale, with people like Mahmoud here. So let's get your perspective. Everybody's heard my perspective. What do you have to say about it all?
Part of it, there's a lot of things going on behind the scenes. I did type some into the chat room tonight. We do know that there is an active pyramid there, just like Giza. And it was one of the original pyramids that was there. A lot of people aren't aware that that was an Atlantean site. Mm-hmm. And a lot of our genetics, or my bloodlines, actually come off of that area. So that's where all our great Babas and mosquitoes. For
Okay, so there's major metaphysical stuff going on behind the scenes.
We got stargates and stuff opening.
Yeah.
There's artifacts, as you're aware. Shortly after we had done some of the letters in the proclamation in September, basically what happened is the 15,000 troops, Russians, were brought over to the stateside, and were brought there for training. And it was about a week, I think maybe in the last 2 weeks, that they were sent back into those areas. So once we get past the de facto, country thing of Russia, Ukraine, and, China and all this, there's bigger things going on behind the scenes, in here. So that's on the metaphysical.
Okay, well that is interesting. I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah.
We don't usually discuss the heavy metaphysical stuff with Mahmoud here, because I don't know how much you're into any of that, Mahmoud. All the crazy.
It ties in as well, though, to what we're seeing in Syria, though. You got to remember those things to do with the stargates, and there's one that just opened up here, by the way, in our area.
All right, who's eating breakfast? Is that you, Mahmoud? You're getting hungry, probably, huh?
Mm-hmm. So a lot of people, aren't aware that, there's, subtle things or nuances going in behind the scenes, and what this is really, with the Star Wars and everything else going on. So there's going to be a lot of different changes, especially around April 4th, April 5th. So I think it's a good time to get people relaxed, in a sense, and start getting prepared. And look at some of the, if you want to say, the silver linings under these clouds, so to speak. But that's something we're doing, is getting prepared. No different than Fukushima, is getting foods or seeds or something. It doesn't upset me if every Walmart or every store closed in this area. It really wouldn't. We need to become self-sustaining.
Well, tonight we're kind of focused on this one little section of the world over there off of the Mediterranean.
Yeah, which we got to look at. So, but that's what's happening. And it's going to be a global thing.
Anyway.
It's the tip of the iceberg. But if we get some stuff started there, that's what we can do, is maybe assist people by sending stuff that way that will assist them.
Gee, Karen, do you know? I'm gonna move on, but I just want to say real quick. As I mentioned earlier, our recordings of our shows that from 2013 are going to be for sale as a podcast in big groups. And you're in there 2 or 3 times.
We're in there quite a few times, from scalar technology to all sorts of stuff.
Yeah. So that is kind of interesting. It's kind of fun. Anyway, I just thought I'd throw that out there and tell you about it, and quick advertisement too at the same time. Anyway,
we're hitting the airways. Anyway, I just wanted to thank both of you.
All right. Well, thanks for calling, and appreciate it.
Yeah,
so
we'll catch on with that with Sherry, because she's awesome too, coming on. So.
All right, sounds good. All right, anybody else want to call in? Again, area code 347-688-2902, or Skype in at Freedom Screen. And looks like we just picked somebody up here at area code 720. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Hello, I'm first-time caller for your show. My name is Cameron, and I'm from Colorado.
Hi, Cameron.
How's it going? I heard about what Mahmoud was talking about, and I just tuned in, and I have to say that great job. More people need to be speaking out, and I just started speaking out myself. But I also wanted to say about the metaphysical thing is these stargates. There's one the Mars jump program that they have, but who knows what other planets that they actually travel to and from. I don't know if you're aware of that. I just want to mention that.
Yeah, well, that's certainly something that we talk about on these programs. We don't really get into those aspects with Mahmoud, because I don't know if Syria has really been, it's like like Karen was saying, they know that the Crimea has a pyramid. Obviously, Bosnia had a pyramid. Iraq certainly had all sorts of ancient artifacts that the Western powers were anxious to get their hands on. I don't know if Syria does, but I would expect, being an ancient country as Syria is, it must have artifacts also. So clearly, a lot of this warfare is because they're trying to get in there and steal this stuff.
Yeah, it's really old. I mean, old.
the pre-flood and what have you type stuff. Mahmoud, you ever hear? You know what we're talking about? These stargates and all this, time travel stuff. These underground chambers, these stuff that goes back to ancient Babylon. Are you familiar with any of that stuff?
Not all of them.
Have you heard any? I mean, are you familiar with like the Babylon battery and the Egyptian light bulbs? Things like that.
Wasn't it the Baghdad battery?
Was it the Baghdad battery? Oh, yeah, that's right, Baghdad battery. Yeah, not Babylon. Well, Baghdad, Babylon, same, yeah. But you're right, Baghdad. But, okay, that's just, obviously that's a departure from our, what we're really discussing tonight, but basically a lot of this, there's very sophisticated technology that predates, what we regard as the beginning of modern man here. As far as biblical standpoints and stuff like that.
But I did have another question about Syria for Mahmoud. The question is that are you aware that the whole effort is being backed? Well, maybe not the whole effort, but it's being backed by President Obama because he's Muslim, and there wants to be. Wants destabilization. The powers that be, they do want destabilization in the area. So, do you know any more about
that? Actually, your voice was a little unclear.
Could you repeat the question a little shorter, please?
Oh yeah, it's just like, are you aware that the rebels are being funded by the Western powers, so to speak?
Yes, of course. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What's your take on that?
I don't know what you mean by
he doesn't hate us.
What do you know? Yeah.
Yeah.
I still
guess
don't.
He wants to know how you feel. How do you feel knowing that the American government is spending money to try to kill Syrians?
Yeah, it doesn't change the fact that Americans and all the people have nothing to do with it. So I only have the problem with the U.S. government and the Western governments.
Thank you, Mahmoud.
If that's the real answer.
We just had another caller join us, and I hope I got the area codes right. Which one's the new one, and which one's the guy that just called us? 604? Are you the new? 604. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, hi. This is Tony here. I'm calling you from Alberta, Canada.
Hey, Tony.
How you doing?
Good. What would you like to ask?
I've been following the developments in the Middle East for quite a number of years now. And as far as Syria goes, one of the most disturbing things that I heard about was the Israelis sending over a tactical nuke on a cruise missile during that artillery barrage. I guess it was, I can't remember, it was probably about 6-7 months ago, to take out that bunker, the command and control center. And I understand that was in retaliation for Syria sinking an Israeli sub off the coast there. A complete loss. I think there was something like 85 men lost, with a lot of missiles and stuff on board as well. I'm just wondering if Mahmoud had heard of that, or if that's sort of common knowledge there. It was just in north of Damascus.
Well, Mahmoud, remember you were describing for us the big explosion that had the very large epicenter. Remember the one time you were on the show, we were asking that question, basically. Do you remember that? Could you describe that for us again? You said there was a bomb that went off that you knew it wasn't a conventional bomb because it was very far away and yet it was very strong.
You mean like last year when Israel bombed Damascus?
Exactly. Yeah. That's what he wants to hear about. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it was in in many places they targeted many places in Damascus, and military, specifically military areas like around us. It was like three strong explosions. One in Qasyun Mountain, which is in the middle of Damascus. They targeted a military unit in Qudsaya suburbs, and the strongest one was in Jumraya, in the science, the science laboratory or stuff like that. So it was like it shook the earth underneath us. I thought the building was going to fall. I felt it was an earthquake or something.
Were you actually able to see the sort of fireball afterwards, or
No, it was it was far more than enough to be affected with it.
But you didn't actually see a sort of a somewhat like a mushroom cloud with electrical, like lightning inside it or anything, did you?
No.
Okay.
But we felt it. We felt the explosion.
Okay. I've seen a few videos, and that particular lightning is a real signature of an atomic weapon being used. But that to me is just beyond the pale. I mean, here we are using nuclear weapons in a conflict which Israel isn't even at war with Syria, right? They haven't proclaimed war anyway. It's just outrageous. I mean, that's beyond the pale. It really is. I mean, if the media were to, and of course they won't, but if they were to get out on that, the outrage would just be unbelievable. Like Israel launching nuclear weapons against a country. It's just, I can't explain, or express just the outrage of that. It's one thing to send a jet fighter over and drop a few bombs on different installations in a covert action, but to actually launch nuclear weapons against another country is it's unthinkable. It really is. And yet here they are, they've done it. So, what does that say? I mean, to me that says that, these guys will stop at nothing to get what they want. And I'm afraid that one of the, this latest business in the Ukraine is they always do things with sort of a multi-pronged agenda. And I think one of the things that Ukraine at this particular time and date is to take the eyes of the world off of Syria, because they're planning on something. And I'm sure something's in the spring is going to be coming down big time.
Since the Syrian army is getting some successful operations in the country, they are eliminating Al-Qaeda everywhere. So this will terminate the U.S. government project in Syria. So I think they did what they did in Ukraine to distract us and the whole world from what's going on in Syria. They are surely planning for something.
That's a good point.
Listen, without a doubt.
You guys, we're getting down to the end of the show here, and Keith just joined us back, and I think, Keith, you probably want to say something about the show coming up, or what?
Well, just let me finish by saying to Mahmoud there that, he has a lot of support here in Canada and in the U.S., and we're doing everything we can to raise awareness on what's really going on there. And I wish them all the best.
All right, thanks for calling. Thanks for joining us. Again, Keith, you with us? Go ahead.
I'd like to make a quick prediction. There will be no nuclear war. That is a prediction on my part.
The operations I hope it's right.
Country, they are eliminating Al-Qaeda everywhere.
Okay.
So this will terminate the
US
government.
Yeah, 604. Yeah, 604. We got to let you go.
They did.
There you go. Thank you. Yeah, he had his radio playing, and that was the delay. Did we just have another caller? 760 join us. Looks like it.
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead. What's your name?
Afwan. I'm saying hello to him, Eric. The story.
How are you? Thanks for joining us. Go ahead, real quick. We don't have a lot of time left, so please, what would you like to say?
Tell him, if you could, can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Just tell him shukran for all that he's doing.
Mahmoud, you hear that, right?
It's not pretty clear. It's lagging a little bit. The sound is not so
lagging. It's my cell phone. Tell him thank you.
Well, I'm glad you called. We've only got 2 minutes remaining, so I'm going to have to take over. We don't have any time to really continue, but I'm sure Mahmoud will come and join us again, and perhaps next time you can join us and Skype in or something, and you'll have better sound and all that good stuff.
Thanks.
But I do remind everybody that tonight's broadcast will be available on YouTube in 24 hours roughly, so that's always fun if you want to hear something again. That's easy to get to. And I want to thank all the listeners out there, and I want to thank all the fans of Mahmoud that have joined us tonight, specifically to hear him and to join him. And I also want to thank Sean Bell, my producer, and I want to thank everybody in the chat room. And Mahmoud, any last words? Any final words?
I want to thank the listeners and everyone listening to us right now. And thank you for bearing 2 hours with us and trying to comprehend my words. Like I say, chaotic words, ungrammatically correct.
You do a good job.
Thank you.
Yeah, nobody's complaining about your English. Okay. For sure.
Is it good?
All right, well, that's it. That's the little. We hear some music's going to be coming here. So again, Mahmoud, thank you, and give my best to Gaby and Modar, and we'll be in touch. Stay in touch with me on Facebook.
Yes,
and,
okay, of course.
Again, everybody, thank you, everyone that's listening, and join us next week. Good night. God bless you. Adios.